Most of you have probably seen by now that Trump has signed an executive order to expand access for IVF, making it more affordable for Americans. Let's talk about it. And if you don't have the time or you just didn't want to watch, here's my TLDWW, too long didn't want to watch summary of the points that I'm going to make. So first of all, we are keeping fertility, infertility, and fertility treatment at the top of the minds of Americans, and this is good. Infertility is a disease that impacts 1 in 6, and it can have devastating long-term outcomes, including mental, emotional, and financial burden, which is a big part of what this executive order is about. Despite its prevalence and impacts, this disease is one that often goes untreated or undertreated because access to care is so limited and there is such high financial burdens. So what does it actually say? So Section 2 of the executive order shows that this is goal of lowering costs and reducing barriers to IVF. Within 90 days of the date of this order, the Assistant to the President for Domestic Policy shall submit to the President a list of policy recommendations on protecting IVF access and aggressively reducing out-of-pocket and health plan costs for IVF treatment. So this executive order has not yet changed anything. There has been no action actually taken from this yet. But it is directed over the next 90 days to make these recommendations so that we can potentially take action, which is good. However, I also have some concerns. Specifically this line, our public policy must make it easier for loving and longing mothers and fathers to have children. Another note on it saying many hopeful couples. My concern here would be that these recommendations or any actions that come from them may not be inclusive of those in LGBTQ relationships or those pursuing single parenthood. The other piece that I'm concerned about is that anything that proposes to support IVF is in direct opposition to bills like this one that are proposed for fetal personhood. While granting fetal personhood does not actually get rid of in vitro fertilization as an option altogether, it definitely limits and drastically reduces the success of in vitro fertilization and also may place restrictions on what we are able to do as fertility providers, embryologists, fertility clinics, fertility doctors, fertility nurses when it comes to effective and cost-effective care. Which is why I find it hard for these two things to be aligned with each other. So what can you do if you've heard this executive order and you're excited and you want this to stay on people's minds and you want some action to actually come from this? Educate yourself on others in infertility, fertility treatment, and access to care issues. If you've been personally affected, share your story. This can be so meaningful to connect a story to an issue. Contact your elected officials and make it clear to them that you support pro-access to IVF and fertility treatments and you reject anything that would impact that access. If you're in a position to donate, make a donation to organizations that advocate for fertility treatments like in vitro fertilization and access to care, or to organizations that provide fertility access to care.
My mic died, but the last thing that you can do is join Resolve and ASRM's National Advocacy Day. It is May 20th this year. It is virtual. You can wear pajama bottoms. You are not alone. You're in a group. They give you scripts. It can make such a difference.